We need some like theme music to just play while we're waiting for it to start up.
Yeah, that's what. Have you started?
Yeah, it's starting. All right, welcome to Data Science Club number 11. We are yet again doing pandas because we're trying to go through this Kaggle page micro course on pandas. Pandas is a data manipulation toolbox in Python, and it's really helpful, really powerful, but there's lots of nitty-gritty little syntax things that make it even more useful. And while we're certainly not going to remember everything we've done in these exercises, it's at least good to have done it once so that you know that it's possible if you need to look it back up. We're going to... Oh, go ahead, Ravi.
Oh, yeah, and that way you also know the next time you run into the same kind of problems, you know a resource where you can come back and find the solutions and go through them.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start out with grouping and sorting, and we're going to try to power through the last three so that next we can do something different than pandas, but here we go. All right, so again, this is on the Kaggle website. You can sign up for a free account on here yourself, and you should be able to follow these along directly, and there shouldn't be any difference between what you see and what we're seeing on our page. I would recommend pulling up these examples and the cheat sheet if you haven't already. I probably should at least open it up in a new tab just in case we need to go there. I think Ravi has it on another screen on his laptop next to me, so we might just reference that and then leave it to you to go hunt it down on those pages. All right, so first things first. So this is a Jupyter notebook. We're running Python in the web browser and seeing how things play out. If we hit this play button, it will run this cell. And so you see we were supposed to print setup complete, and it printed out. If you look at what this is doing, we're importing pandas as PD, so we're both importing the library pandas and we're using the alias for it, PD. And then here we're storing a CSV file with this function read_CSV from this location into this reviews. So you could totally use this function to pull in any spreadsheet type file that you have on your own computer or in your data directory on Jihad.
Yeah, and pandas import the CSV file and create a data frame that's stored in that reviews variable that William was showing you.
Yeah, and so the data frame, it makes it really nice for messing with the data that was in this CSV file. All right, so let's see. Who are the most common wine reviewers in the data set? Create a series whose index is the taste Twitter handle category from the data set and whose values count how many reviews each person wrote. Okay. Index. Okay. All right, so I know that if we go... we'll put this up here. I know if we do something like this, if we do reviews.unique, maybe? Oh no, I have to specify the column too. Taste your Twitter handle dot unique that'll print me out who all the different reviewers were But let's see. Is there an n unique? Oh, that's just the number of unique things. Let's see. What do you think? Viewers. I know that there's an easy way to do this.
Isn't there a value underscore count variable? Or value underscore count thing?
Let's see. Value count. All right. So let's look at this grouping and sorting here. Oh, group by. I think this is what we're supposed to do here. So we want to group it by points and then do a points count. So if we come here and do a group by
Test tester Twitter handle. Dot count.
There you go. Yeah, so that worked. So here what we did was we took the DataFrame reviews, we grouped it by the taster Twitter handle, and then we returned the count of the different elements in the taster Twitter handle. Okay. Let's see, now what is the best wine I can buy for a given amount of money? Create a series whose index is wine prices and whose values is the number of points a wine costing that much was given in a review. Okay. All right, so again, I'm assuming we need to use that group by thing. Because here we were supposed to create a series whose index was the taster Twitter handle. And that's what happens when you do this group by thing. All right, so reviews dot group by price. Okay. One is wine prices and whose value is, okay, so then maybe we do dot points dot max.
Yeah, so the max is the one that we want, and
yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward once I got my head around it. So again, we're grouping by price, which gives us the pricing index. And then for that grouped by price, we really only want the maximum value of the points per price point. Okay. All right. What are the minimum and maximum prices for each variety of wine? Create a data frame whose index is the variety category from the data set and whose values are the min and max values they're at. So let's see. So I know from the ones that we just did, we do reviews, dot group by variety.
And we want price.
Dot price.
Yeah, minimum and maximum price.
Dot min. But I need to create another data frame, so that be pd dot data frame. And then put that in there. I have a feeling this is going to crash on you. I'm off the end here. Let's see. Dot data frame. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. So that's how we create a data frame, but I'm doing the indexing wrong.
Yeah, so they mentioned that one method of having two different values like min and max is using the aggregate function.
Oh.
So you can define aggregate and then you define both min and max. So you don't need to, we didn't.
Okay, so we don't even have to do that. So let's try that. So dot ag for aggregate.
Yeah.
And then
it's
inside there we do
min comma
and
max.
comma max. Okay. Okay, cool. So again, so group by changes it so we're indexing by the variety. And then we are specifically just wanting the price column, but we're going to put that price column, we're going to aggregate values from the minimum and maximum of price into two separate columns. Okay.
Yeah, we can see how price extremes look. That for
again, if you do this dot head, just take off this.
Yeah, so it has both min and max values.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And it's indexed by variety. Nice. All right. So what are the most expensive wine varieties? So create a variable blah blah containing a copy of the data frame from the previous question where the varieties are sorted in descending order based on minimum price, then on maximum price. Okay. So we're taking that one that we just did, price extremes. All right. But then this feels like there's just like a sort function.
Yeah.
So if we come down, let's group by multi-indexes. Oh, sorting. There you go.
So dot sort underscore values. Yeah, this would be the best one.
By length. Oh, okay. So you just do it.
Yeah, you can give both of them.
So we can just give both. and then specify ascending equals false. Okay. Dot sort values by minimum, then maximum, and then ascending equals false.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I mean, this notebook's kind of falling in line with what we've done with pandas in the past. Of once you kind of figure out the syntax, it's like, oh, that makes sense, or at least it's really nice and compact.
Yeah.
All right. Create a series whose index is reviewers and whose values is the average review score given out by that reviewer. Okay. So that should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Reviews dot by
Name.
name
Dot points. Dot. What do you need?
of the average.
Me?
The average review score. Let's try me. Yeah, there we go. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, so like this is the average of the averages. The crappiest somebody gets is giving 85 points on average. All right, so now we're going to do something called a multi-index. And so let's see, what combination of countries and varieties are the most common? Create a series whose index is a multi-index of country variety pairs. Sort the values. All right, let's take a look at this thing over here. Multi-index. All right. Okay, so that's using the group by, but you use group by with two different things. Okay. So this would be reviews dot group by. Sorry. Group by.
Country and variety.
Okay.
Dot. What are we looking for?
So here we're wanting the country variety counts.
Oh, counts.
So we want to know like how many counts there are per. Well, let's just try
size.
Let's see, size. What would that do for me?
So in one of the earlier ones, I think first problem over here,
Yeah.
that was one of the easier methods mentioned.
Yeah.
So when in the output,
Oh.
so rather than you can just specify size, and that would be
Let's give it a whirl. Okay.
and we also need to sort them. Sort the values in series in descending order.
Yeah. Okay. So then we also need to sort. So we'll snag that. based on wine count. Okay. No. All right. What am I? Let's look at it.
Oh. Maybe we want to. So the country variety counts variable that just has the size value. It doesn't have the sorted value. I think that's what the error was. Because we do the sorting after we have already defined the variable.
Okay.
So if we do in the second command that we wrote,
Mhm.
sort values, if we again pass that value to country variety counts variable,
Oh, okay. So if we
yeah,
put that back in here.
yeah.
Oh. Look at you go. All right.
Yeah, so basically whoever is saying, so the thing that we did was we were actually getting the right output after what we had written last time, but what that dot check function is checking is what's the final value in that country variety counts variable.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I admit I get tripped up with that a lot sometimes with these sorting functions in Python. It's not always clear whether or not when you say sort values, it's doing it to the data frame and then leaving it sorted, or if it's just sorting it and then you have to assign it to another variable. And so that's what Ravi noticed is we had to sort it and put it back in the country variety counts. Otherwise, it wasn't actually saved that way for future use. All right, so now let's look at, let's see. All right, we at least have time to do this data types and missing data, but we might get through all of them. We'll see how we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so I opened up the resources page and we're gonna go ahead and do the setup. Okay. All right, what is the data type of the points column? I feel like I could just do type reviews dot points.
Oh, we need detail.
Oh, or is it info?
Yeah, so Pandas has a D-type variable.
It's D type. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, D-type without the brackets, which gives you data type for each column.
Gotcha. All right, so review points dot D type. Got it. Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, so now we're supposed to create a series, but convert it into strings. Okay. So I think if we just do oh, okay. So we have to do that in some other kind of way here. Let's see. Data types. We'll just look that up here.
Yeah, so D-type is to define the type of data, and as type lets you convert it.
Okay. All right. So by typing as type, we're specifying, hey, just because it's got numbers in there, don't read it as a number. I actually want it to be a string. All right. Sometimes the price column is null. How many reviews in the data set are missing a price? So that would just be reviews dot price dot let's see. Again, we could guess what the function is, or we can just come over here. Okay, so is null is going to be the number of that, and I think this will just specify what the indices are.
Yeah, what is null? Yeah.
And so we probably got to do like is null dot
sum.
size or something.
Yeah, dot size, dot sum.
Dot is null dot sum. Yep, that'll work. Yeah, it looks like there's a few different versions.
Or you can do length as well. Cool.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, so sum only works because true is treated as 1 and false as 0.
Yes, yeah, that's why size is the other thing that might work. But yeah, this is a nice thing to know.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with images and you come up with a way of masking the image that makes it true and false, you can get volumes by just doing sums of a black and white image.
Oh, nice.
All right, so what are the most common wine producing regions? Create a series counting the number of times each value occurs in the region _1 field. So replace missing values with unknown. Okay. All right.
Reviews dot region
1. Let's see, so we got to do something with the missing values, and there actually is a function for that. Yeah, fill in a.
Yeah, fill in a unknown.
Unknown, yeah. Dot fill in a with unknown.
So we also want to find out how many times each value occurs. So we can have reviews.
Region equals reviews per region dot group by region 1 dot size. No, I'm missing something here.
We also need to sort it. So
oh, and this one doesn't have.
so what if we sort by at the end as well? Because we need to sort this thing as well. So
All right. Well, let's also look at what reviews per region looks like after we do that. Okay, so it's literally just the it's the series, it's just the regions
yeah.
thing. So we want to, that's what you're saying, we need to do.
Region dot group by region.
Dot, because we don't need the group by. Because we're going to do a sorting, going to sort values. Sort values. Dot sending.
Yeah, sending equal to false.
False. Equals to false. What am I missing here?
So, reading the problem, it looks like we do need to count the number of times that each value occurs in region 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we are sorting over here, but we're not.
Oh,
technically
yeah,
counting.
we're not counting yet. Because here we've got that.
Yeah, but then now it should be Zonda value 3.
I gotcha. Will that work? No, because that just counts the whole thing.
Yeah. So, value counts at the end.
Okay.
Dot value underscore count.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah, so value counts would be like individual thing. It's the same thing like the group by thing does. I think it's just
Yeah.
a shorter format so that you don't have to write group by this and
Yeah, because you're just counting how many instances of each value.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that one was pretty short. So I think we can move on to the next one and get that one done too. Again, if you have any trouble with these, feel free to come into the office hours, send us an email. As you can see, we're in this with you. We're figuring it out as you guys are. All right. Exercise, renaming and combining. All right, so we're going to come through. All right, so we're going to open these two, merge, join, and concatenate, and essential basic functionality. And we're going to get going. Import the libraries.
And the setup is complete.
Yeah, and then we're going to look at the first few lines. All right, region 1 and region 2 are pretty uninformative. Create a copy of reviews with these columns renamed to region and locale specifically. Let's see. Reviews. All right, so this takes us directly to the Pandas documentation, which is nice. Let's look up renaming.
Looks like there's that rename function.
Yeah. Dot rename.
Oh, so columns are supposed to be like this. Oh.
All right, so column.
Yeah, and technically we are just renaming columns in this particular problem, right? Region 1 and
Yes.
region 2
Yeah.
rename, so.
Okay, so this. Yeah, so I getcha. So we're rename in here. They're renaming column 1 to column foo, column 2 to column bar.
Yeah.
Got it. So we just need this first aspect of it. Okay. So dot rename columns, and we're changing region 1 to region and region underscore 2 to locale.
That was simple enough.
Simple enough. Set the index name in the data set to wines.
So that would be the second portion that we didn't pick.
Yeah. So index equals All right, I'm not sure how to just set it to a full thing there. So reindexed, mapping labels. I suppose we could just do this dot rename and then specify the axis as index. So let's see, set the index in name in the data set to wines. So views dot rename, and then just views dot wines. Let's see what. That's variety. Oh, title. Set the index name. Oh, it's just changing the name of the index to being wines instead of index. Is that what it's telling me to do?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to look at the hint because I'm confused by that question. Use the rename axis method. Yeah. Alright, so rename axis. So then that points to what we were saying. Yeah, it's not that we're renaming each index something different. We're just renaming the whole axis. Instead of index, it's going to be wines.
Yeah.
So we're doing this.
That's rows, that's fine.
Let's see what it is. Oh, it doesn't have a name currently.
Oh, they have this in their other, not this basic one. Yeah.
The merge.
There is renaming and combining one as well. So go back to the exercise, and
Yeah.
at the very top there should be some other link as well.
Oh, there you go. Renaming. Oh, index 0.
So this is when you're just changing the index.
Oh, okay. So rename axis wines, axis equals rows. Okay. So let's give that a try. Axis.
Just wines over here and comma axis.
Does that have to be in quotes?
Maybe in quotes.
Yeah. Still not.
Maybe the wines thing. I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't need the curly braces. There we go. Okay. So we couldn't just rename it directly the same way because it doesn't already have a name. So we have to specify it some way that Pandas knows what it is. So it knows the rows concept. And so we're renaming the rows. Okay. All right, so the things on Reddit dataset includes product links from a selection of top-ranked forums, run the cell below to load a data frame of products mentioned on the gaming subreddit and another data frame for products mentioned in the movies. Okay? Create a data frame of products mentioned on either subreddit. Oh, okay. So we're combining both ones. How do these look like? Products.head. Name, category. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. Okay. So they actually have the same columns. Yeah. Okay. So we just have to append one to the other. So merge, join, and concatenate.
Yeah, I think concat would be the function to use.
Yeah, it looks like that. It looks like it's right here. So we gotta first make concat. Well, I guess it's pd.concat, right?
Yeah, pd.concat. And what were the names that we gave?
So we got gaming products,
Comma movie products.
movie products. That's pretty straightforward. All right, so the powerlifting data set on Kaggle includes one CSV table for powerlifting meets and a separate one for powerlifting competitors. Run the subload to load both of these. Okay. Both include references to a meet ID, including the database. Using this, generate a table. Okay, so it's like a query where we're doing a table join.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So it's probably going to be something like pd dot. No, it's not going to be .json. Let's see. Let's look for join. Alright. So I know we're using the concat function again. That just stacks them on top of each other. All right, so join. List of index objects, keys. Names. Okay, so keys makes it so that you can specify which data set came from which, like as another index. All right. Okay, so if we join, no, I'm still kind of lost on this one.
Yeah, so I checked one of the parameters as set index,
Mm-hmm.
and then we should be able to use just the join command. So in the exercise,
Oh.
and this is based on set index, and one of the comments that set index does the same thing. So powerlifting combined would be powerlifting.
Meets.
Yeah, powerlifting underscore meets dot set index, and then we define that what was the meet ID would be the meet ID. It's uppercase M dot joins. And dot join, right? Yeah. So now in brackets,
Like this,
no, the
parentheses.
parentheses.
So in here, we got to do the same thing.
But for powerlifting competitors.
Okay. Lifting.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, we'll see. Oh, yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
That's pretty slick. It's kind of a confusing concept, but yeah. So what we've done is we've told Pandas that in both cases, the index to be used for the whole data frame is the meet ID. So then when we're doing the joining,
Yeah, it joins through that meet ID index.
it joins them on the meet ID index. That makes sense. Okay. And now we're done with Pandas, at least for the moment.
Yes.
If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help out. And then also, just thanks to everyone who in the past week has joined us because of the UAB e-reporter article on the Data Science Club. We're excited to have all you guys with us. I think just in the past week, our YouTube subscribership has doubled because of that article. So thanks everybody for joining us, and yeah, we're available via email, office hours, or on the YouTube comments, or you could contact us on LinkedIn or whatever, and we're happy to help out.
Yeah, and we'll keep trying to find out more interesting topics to discuss during the Data Science Club sessions. But if you guys come across any machine learning or AI or something interesting that you think might be useful for other people, just contact us and let us know, and we can have our next session on that thing.
Yeah. We're happy to do some tailored sessions specifically for things that folks are interested in. But as always, we'll kind of continue hopping around and do lots of different stuff. And also, if you're a student at UAB and you want course credit for doing these tutorials, sign up for course GBS 720, I think is the course number. But you can also contact us about that. So yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next time.